Alright, it's Thursday, April 23rd, just checking in. I feel pretty good today, and that's for a couple reasons. One reason is, I think the primary reason is because for the past 2 days of working out, have been on a new workout regime that Jeff set for me. And you know, I went into it thinking, is it right to change my workouts at this point? You know, I'm basically 3 weeks out from the competition. I know a lot of people say you really shouldn't change very much this close to a competition, but to be honest, I just felt completely wasted and burned out, and I was really afraid that that I was going to burn out, that I was going to injure myself, and more so than anything, I think Jeff was the one who kind of said this, like, I don't want to leave anything to chance at this point, and I feel like, obviously the training is, at least 50% of the equation, if, the other half would obviously be nutrition and, posing and all that stuff obviously is in there too, and, I just felt like it was time to get some guidance. I don't really feel like I need guidance in terms of form and technique necessarily, but I was really looking for somebody to just tell me what to do. I'm tired of going to the gym, and I've been kind of going through the same workouts. As much as I think I change my workouts, I really don't. You don't change your workout as much as you tend to think, and the problem with that is your body gets used to the workout, to the motions, and that's when you stop changing. And I will say this, there are actually 2 primary benefits to the workouts that Jeff has set for me. Well, maybe 3. 1, I'm doing different exercises to some degree. 2, I am grouping exercises by day differently. Like normally, for the past 2 years, I have been supersetting almost everything. I think I mentioned this in the last video. And in this case, it's more, I think it's more of a traditional split. Like today I did back exercises and I did bicep exercises after the back exercises. So I sort of pre-exhausted my bicep. So I guess it was a pull day. And I don't traditionally do that. I will traditionally do like a chest day, and in between chest sets I will do back exercises, and those are 2 sort of major muscle groups that you're working on the same day, and that may be part of the reason I've just been burning myself out. And then some days I'll do arms collectively, and then obviously I'll do a leg day, lower body leg day with glutes and quads and calves emphasized, and then I'll do another lower body, what I consider lower body leg day, where I'm sort of emphasizing hamstrings and calves again, and sort of utility muscles like the adductors and abductors and that sort of thing. So anyway, I think it's going to be hugely beneficial. And the last thing, this is I think the most crucial aspect of the training that Jeff has set for me. There is actually a cadence scheme with timing of individual reps, where you give yourself a 3 count on the press or the lowering. I can't remember which phase it is, but you basically are paying more attention to the time spent while the muscle is under stress. And that is not something I have ever really paid attention to. I get in the gym like every other guy, or the majority of guys, and I just go bam, 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 and I'm just trying to get those reps in there as quickly as possible. And I will change the weight. Sometimes I will change the reps, but I have never focused on the timing. And I think that is actually pretty crucial. I was really noticing it today with I was doing these close grip lat pull downs, and I was doing my rows, and normally the rows I would go like 200 pounds, 220 pounds, and just bang out 3 sets of 8, 4 sets of 10, or what have you. And today it was 3 sets of 8 with a considerably slower time than I would normally do. And then I think there was even like a 3-second pause at the top on like right before the last rep of each set. So I really felt that, you know, and it's a different feeling. I think it's a different way of hitting the muscle, and for that I am highly appreciative to Jeff and very excited. And, you know, I guess it's kind of a no-brainer. It's something I should have incorporated a long time ago, but, you know, if you're not thinking about it, you just don't do it. So I think the sun just went behind the clouds, so it kind of lost my lighting here. But anyway, that's where I'm at with the training. And I don't think it could come at a better time, to be honest, because like I said, I'm really close, but I just feel like at this point I am really, or was really getting just completely burned out. And I woke up this morning just still feeling tired, and you know, I think the thing that I hate the most is just how shaky I feel, like my lower body. I feel weak in the knees. I just feel so like gimpy and gimbly and shaky, and it's like just walking around, I feel like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, you know. And I think that's the diet. I think that's probably low blood sugar and probably the lower body fat. You know, I don't know that I'm ever really going to feel differently, you know, until after the competition, when I can start kind of getting my blood sugar and my body fat levels up again. I just guess I need to sort of accept that mentally. So that's where I'm at with the workout. Another aspect of it that I think I discussed the other day is the cardio. And, you know, Jeff actually said something later that day, because I emailed him, and it really hit home. And what he said is that we are not runners, we're bodybuilders. And at the moment, you know, to get into the gym 3 days a week and hit that treadmill for 30 minutes a session with, you know, 7.5 miles an hour and like a reasonably steep incline, you know, I think that's more of a workout for a runner, you know. And I think it has been very beneficial. I have shed the body fat. I think it has helped me burn tremendous amounts of calories. I can't dispute that, but I think it has finally caught up with me. I think my lower body is just not having it anymore, and to be honest, the idea of getting on that treadmill and trying to do that for the next couple of weeks just doesn't sit well with me. And I kind of shared that with Jeff, and I just really wanted to get his thoughts on that, because I've seen bodybuilders at the gym that are doing cardio and they're just like basically walking on an incline, and they're sweating, but they're not like doing like all out, you know, sprints or jogging at a fast pace the way I would be. So anyway, Jeff came back and, you know, he kind of said that about, you know, running versus bodybuilding. And I guess he sort of granted me permission, or, you know, I guess he kind of said from the beginning, to be fair, you know, I don't think he ever said you have to run. You know, he said swimming or biking or elliptical or stair step. And I just sort of took it upon myself to run, because that's just sort of what I've always been comfortable doing. But, you know, he basically said, you know, you can run, bike, you know, and I did that this morning. I got on the bike, and, you know I'm supposed to be focusing on my heart rate, and that's something I need to, you know, incorporate back into it. But anyway, today I didn't put the heart rate monitor on. I just got on my exercise bike at the gym. I hit cardio as calories as the goal. And I think I put like 450 calories on there, which is sort of close to what I've been doing running. And I just biked it, you know. And I don't know, cardio is just always going to be tough. You know, I don't know if I got my heart rate up high enough, but my quads were burning. And that is the one thing that is tricky about this, is just not destroying my lower body any more than I already do on leg day, because I don't want to like pre-exhaust it and then get to like leg day and not have what it takes to get through my squats and stuff. But anyway, I burned the 450 calories according to the bike that I was on, and you know, that's just got to be good enough at this point. I don't know what else I can do. I need to burn those calories, and it's just going to be better for me, I think, if I can go in there and get on an exercise bike. It's going to be safer. And I think for me, just mentally, it was easier. And I still broke a sweat. Like I'm, you know, I don't know if you can tell from the way I look now, but my shirt's pretty moist, and you know, I wasn't drenched the way I am when I jump off a treadmill. But it was nice, you know. It was nice to sort of change it up. Again, it's just that whole concept of changing it up too. Like I feel like your body adapts, and I guess my body is just as likely to get used to the running as it is, you know, the workouts that I've been doing for the past 2 years. So I think it helps to change it up, and maybe I'll hit the elliptical or the stair step in the next week or two. But that said, I think I'm on the right track. I even think I might try to incorporate another cardio day, so maybe 4 days of cardio starting next week if it's on the bike. And that way I really feel like my bases are going to be covered in terms of calories burned. Another reason I'm kind of perky today, it's a high carb day. It's my loading day, I guess you'd call it. I think this is the day where I get 475 freaking grams of carbs. Fat drops to 50 grams. Protein drops to 185 grams. But I would guess that this is my last really high carb day. And, you know, the reason being, I emailed Jeff and I kind of told him, you know, last week, I was like, you know, are we going to start dropping carbs? And I've been really kind of conscious about that because I know there's a lot of guys that are on a lot less carbs than me. And I know people react differently and whatnot to it. But I don't want to go into this competition too carb heavy because I need to get Jeff's opinion on this. But as far as like carb depletion, and then obviously there's like a carb loading phase in peak week, Jeff really hasn't addressed that with me yet. I asked him about peak week, and you know, he sent me a link to his YouTube video regarding sodium, and I think I'm going to email him today and just kind of see if he can elaborate more on the carbohydrate aspect of peak week, because I don't think he really goes into the carbohydrates as much in that video as the sodium. And from what I gather, I don't think sodium is necessarily something that really needs to be drastically manipulated the way a lot of guys do during peak weeks. So that's kind of what I gathered from that video. But anyway, I think starting next week, where I'm about 2 weeks out, I think I want to try to start carb depleting a little bit more, you know. And another reason I say that is because I read another article from a guy on bodybuilding.com who he's a PhD, and this guy claims to be 220 pounds consistently on 5% body fat or less. I think he's like a fitness model for bodybuilding.com, but he wrote this interesting article about sort of like the 7 steps to become contest or camera ready for like a photo shoot, I guess. And obviously a lot of it has to do with carb manipulation. A lot of it has to do with sodium manipulation. So, you know, he would probably not see eye to eye with, you know, some of the things that Jeff said in that video. But anyway, like, he talks about being on like a crazy low amount of carbs. Like, I don't know if it's like, it's below 100 grams of carbs per day or something like that, or something. And then of course he talks about ramping up the carbs and the glycogen levels in the muscle and sort of making yourself blow up like a balloon without getting too overweight with water, I guess, to where you lose definition. But anyway, and then this morning I woke up and, you know, first thing, of course, I log into MyFitnessPal to kind of check where my food is going to be today. And there's actually this article on their homepage about like the difference between types of carbohydrates and good carbohydrates and bad, or simple versus complex and that sort of thing. But one of the things it said in that article is that I think the average human being, like not the bodybuilder, not even necessarily like the highly active person, but like the average human being needs something like 140 grams of carbs per day just for like bodily function, for like organ function and, you know, things like that, which makes me think, like, can you really drop carbs down to, I think this guy claims you can drop carbs to like a half a gram per pound of body weight or something like that leading up to a competition or a photo shoot, which in my case would be like, that would be under 100 grams of carbs, which kind of contradicts what was said in this article on MyFitnessPal. You know, and I know bodybuilding and that stuff, it's an extreme. This guy also suggests using like a legal diuretic, you know, which I'm not going to do. I mean, obviously all the diuretics I think are actually banned substances in these natural competitions, so I'm certainly not going to go there. But anyway, I guess you have to take everything people say with a grain of salt, even if they have a PhD behind their name. But it really has me thinking a lot about carbs, and I really just want to make sure I'm headed in the right direction up to the competition as far as carbohydrate levels go and that sort of thing. 'Cause I know I have been on what is, I think for most people, an exceptionally high level of carbs. And, that's kind of a double-edged sword for me, because having said that, there are days when I feel so small and scrawny, and I just feel like I just need a big old helping of carbs to like kind of puff myself up. And I don't know how much of that's physical or mental or a combination thereof. But anyway, I swing back and forth. There are days when I feel really good, and there are days where I feel really crappy as far as like how I'm eating, how I'm looking, and that sort of thing. And I think a lot of that's mental, but I guess that kind of is all part of it. And I don't know, at this point, I just feel like my body is what it is. I don't feel like there is a whole lot more that I can really change up, and I feel like the best I can do at this point is to just be consistent and just to stick with the training and the diet and stuff. And that's not to be an excuse, and I'm not giving up or anything along those lines, but I think at this point I just feel like my body is under such physical stress. I feel like I'm under a lot of mental stress, and I just don't know that I can like be any harder on myself than I already have been. So I'm just going to do what I'm told by Jeff, and I'm going to, keep giving it my all and do what's safe for me, and I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to do it, and hopefully it's going to end up being like one of those really great life experiences, and I'll want to do it again someday. But I don't know, it's obviously not natural, It's kind of ironic to me because it's called natural bodybuilding, and I know that's for a certain reason, but as far as being natural, like I think any type of bodybuilding where you're manipulating your diet and stuff so drastically is not natural, it's not normal. And, that's why it's a sport. That's why not everybody does it. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And, I guess if, like, being an Olympic athlete were easy, everybody would do it. So, having said that, it has definitely been a challenge. And at this point, I just want to get across that finish line. And, if I get a plastic trophy, great. If I get a pro card, that would be, like, phenomenal for having competed for the first time. I mean, I think that rarely ever happens, and Jeff keeps pushing me in that direction, and I appreciate the vote of confidence. I'm like my worst critic, but anyway, I just want to finish. I just want to cross the finish line, and if I get a medal around my neck, then great. If not, I think the medal around my neck is going to be the cheeseburger. And, I think, while I'm talking about this from a mental standpoint, my wife, kind of broke down a little bit last night, and she just kind of told me how much she misses me. And I miss me, and I know what she means by that. I have not been myself lately, and I know the next 2 weeks are not going to be any different. If anything, it's probably going to be worse. And that's part of the reason I just want to get through this. I just feel like I'm kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde these days, because I think my mood is fluctuating drastically. I've been getting a lot more sleep lately, which has been really helpful. I think that's like the one thing I can do to sort of give myself a little bit of an advantage when it comes to my mood swings and stuff like that, is to at least make sure I'm getting enough sleep to where that's not like a detrimental factor. But it's tough, especially for like your spouses and people around you and stuff. And I think it's going to get a lot tougher. So I really feel bad about that, and I apologized to her. I don't know that there's much I can do at this point. I'm not going to give up. I got to keep pushing, or else the last like 9 weeks and all this time and effort and money I've invested would be for nothing. So I'm not going to give up, but anyway, it is certainly a lot of mental duress as much as it is physical. I guess that's pretty much it. So like I said, it's my last high carb day, and it's kind of funny. Sometimes like the high carb day, I get excited about it, but to be honest, I don't know that it's any better than like a regular day, because obviously the fats are lower, so I think that kind of factors in, and the protein is lower, so that is another factor. But anyway, the one thing I really kind of look forward to on my high carb day is a pint of Arctic Zero ice cream. Actually just got back from the grocery store and I got my Arctic Zero chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. I did this last week with some chocolate chip cookie dough Quest bar cookies that I made. They were hot out of the oven and I put them on top of this stuff and I just thought I was gonna die. But I love this stuff because you can eat the whole pint. This is their chunky variety, so it's got more calories and carbs. It's 300 calories per pint, and the carbs I think per pint are about 48, which is, you know, fairly high. The fat is low. It's going to be 6 grams of fat for the entire pint. Protein's going to be 12 grams for the entire pint, and it's got a reasonable amount of fiber. Sugars are somewhat high, but you know, it's sort of a faux ice cream. And I'm a little bit pissed at Arctic Zero, and here's why. I actually placed an order on their website Friday of last week, so almost a week ago. And the reason I did that, because I can get this stuff obviously at my local grocery store. At the grocery store it's like $5.79 a pint, so this stuff ain't cheap. But you know, it's a sacrifice for a little indulgence. But anyway, I placed an order on their website, and it is even more expensive on the website obviously because shipping is factored in. So I think it ends up being like $7.50 a pint on the freaking website, which is crazy because like I would normally go to the store and buy like a half gallon of Breyers for, you know, when it's on sale, like $2.50 for a half gallon, you know, but obviously I can't do that right now because of the diet I'm on. But anyway, I placed an order on their website because they have a lot of flavors that they don't have at my local store. They have a key lime pie, which is really what I wanted to try today. And I got a couple of flavors that they don't have at my local store, like a orange dreamsicle and strawberry. And anyway, I'm just frustrated because it hasn't even shipped yet. I checked my order status yesterday and still said pending, so I emailed them and they said it would be shipping out hopefully today. You know, and I assume it's overnight shipping, so it better be here tomorrow because I don't know how shipping goes as far as the weekends and stuff with UPS and FedEx. Sometimes they don't deliver. So anyway, I know it's packed in dry ice and all that kind of stuff, but I was just frustrated because I was hoping to have this in time. So I have 6 pints of Arctic Zero ice cream that are still on the way that I'm going to be waiting on. And I have no doubt I'll be able to eat those, you know, before the competition, because after the competition, it's off. After the competition, I'm going back to my Breyers, my Friendlies, my gelato, and all that crazy stuff. Bluebell when I get down to North Carolina again. I'm going to have some Bluebell ice cream. I'm going to make my own ice cream. I don't care. I just want regular food again. But anyway, this is going to have to be it for now. What else did I buy from the grocery store? I bought more. They actually have this at my grocery store too, which surprises me. It's like the only type of Walden Farms they have. I bought more of the Walden Farms chocolate syrup, which I'm going to put on top of the Arctic Zero ice cream. I've been using this stuff like it's going out of style, to be honest. I've been putting this in my Greek yogurt to flavor it like a mousse, and you know, it's 0 calorie, no carb, no nothing basically except sodium. So anyway, I'm actually kind of grateful that they have this chocolate sauce at my local grocery store. Otherwise, you know, I'd be ordering it from Walden Farms, and again, like everything else, the shipping's expensive. It takes like a week to get here, which kind of sucks. And you know, I hate waiting. I also got a ton of sugar-free Jell-O at my local grocery store. It's cheaper there than it is with my grocery delivery service. And you know, I love sugar-free Jell-O because it is 1 gram of protein per serving. There's no carbs, there's no fat, no sugar obviously because it's sugar-free. So if I have an entire box of this each day, it's 4 grams of protein. And what is it? It's all the animal stuff that you couldn't eat otherwise. It's like the ground up tendons and ligaments and horse hooves, I guess, pig hooves or whatever you want to call it. So I don't care. At one point in my life, I was kind of disgusted with Jell-O once I found out what it was, but at this point, I don't give a shit. This is what I call my pre-game. This is my pre-dessert, and what I mean by that is I have my dinner, and then I will have a Jell-O like right after dinner, before I have my Arctic Zero and my my Vita cakes, and I don't know, it's kind of cool because I feel like I can eat dinner, I can have some Jell-O, and then I can kind of give myself a little time in between dinner and like what is like my real decadence, my real dessert. So anyway, it's kind of a mental thing. I guess it's a little bit of protein, and you know, that certainly can't hurt. But I don't know. I guess it's again, it's just sort of like mentally, like you're sort of deceiving yourself a little bit, you know. It's sort of fooling myself into thinking that I'm getting more than I actually am, and it's basically just water. And you know, to go with the Jell-O, I actually got this seltzer, and this is there's nothing in it. It's just a flavored seltzer with no sugar, no sweeteners or anything like that. I get this because I actually mix this with the Jell-O when I'm making it, and it makes like a nice little, like a carbonated type of Jell-O for the next day. So I'll get like a flavored orange seltzer, and I'll put it in with the orange Jell-O, which is actually kind of nice. And last but not least, I got a big old Bro container of water with a screw top lid, and I think I'm gonna try to start using this throughout the day so I have a better idea of how much water I'm actually consuming. I've just been using my shaker bottle at work, and I've been kind of loading up on the amino acids. So I'll fill my shaker bottle, I'll fill like another bottle, and I'll put amino acids in there. And you know, I kind of have a general idea of how many servings of water I'm getting per day, but I don't know, I need to do that 1.5 to 2 gallons of water, I guess, that everybody else is doing. That was what this guy suggested in his carbohydrate article or whatever, and I think this is sort of an easier way to sort of monitor how much water I'm getting. I feel like I'm just constantly going to the bathroom. I probably pee 10 times a day. I walk by the receptionist at work like constantly to go to the bathroom, so she probably thinks that I have a problem. And I don't know, it's kind of annoying, but everybody says you got to drink a lot of water when you're on these diets and you're consuming, you know, the creatine and stuff in the volume that I am. So anyway, I'm doing the water. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. This is going to be a fun little way to end the video, but after I go to the bathroom, no matter how well I feel like I've gotten everything out of my bladder, I'm leaking like an old man. I feel like I walk out of the bathroom and I can kind of feel like I missed a little, you know. So I know that's disgusting. I don't give a shit at this point, you know, because this is what it is. But I don't know. I think my bladder's just like kind of being overworked. I think the muscles down there are kind of tired, and you know, I think it's kind of desensitized. Actually, I think the more your bladder is full, I think the more desensitized the nerve endings get down there, and I think for that reason, I think I'm kind of having that sort of weird old person issue, which kind of sucks. I haven't really heard anybody else talk about that, so I'm just going to throw it out there. That's been my personal experience. Yeah, actually, I guess last but not least, you know, I got this idea again. I was watching, one of the things I like about being on that bike when I'm doing cardio instead of the treadmill is that I can actually like watch something, and you know, I can't really focus. I've never been able to focus on like reading something per se. I can't really focus on like a television show, but I was just putting Nick Wright YouTube videos on my phone. I was just watching those on the treadmill, and you know, I've always enjoyed Nick Wright's videos. I feel like it's a good pastime. I don't know why it's intriguing to watch somebody else work out, or just to watch somebody else walk around Walmart and shop for their food for the week, or talk about what they're eating for the week like I am. But I don't know, you put it out there, I guess somebody's going to be interested in it if they're trying to do the same thing that you are. So anyway, one of the things that Nick Wright talked about though was the gallon of water, and trying to find a jug that's got a screw top lid and whatnot. So anyway, that's kind of where I got that inspiration from Mr. Nicholas Wright. And I guess that's it. I wish Romeo Estrada would make more videos, to be honest. I know he's on vacation, and I don't think he's prepping for a contest at the moment. But, you know, I'd like to actually get some more of his videos and kind of hear more about his process and what he's doing. So anyway, wow, this is a new record, 30 minutes. This has been a half-hour diatribe, confessional of me in my my depleted caloric state. I'm going to blame it on that. So anyway, I guess that's it for today. It's Thursday. I think the next time I'll check in, I'll probably check in on Saturday and let you know where the fantastic weigh-in and all that stuff is. So anyway, 30 minutes, new record on the video. I guess that's about as much time as I spent doing cardio today. So maybe I should shoot my videos while I'm doing my cardio from now on. Who knows? Alright, until next time, friends.